Hi everyone, Mrs. Crawford here. I am going to do an activity with you based on the story A Tree is a Plant. Let's get started. We're going to be doing a sequence activity. We're going to sequence the events in the text A Tree is a Plant by drawing a picture and writing a sentence. We're going to make sure our events are in sequential order. We're going to use words, sequence words, and we're going to use cups. Remember, cups is capital letters. Your understanding your sentences make sense, punctuation for periods, and S for spaces and spelling. And then we're going to make sure our picture matches the sentence. What does it mean to sequence? When we are sequencing, we're putting events in order. We're making sure that they're in chronological order from beginning to end. And we're going to be using some transition words. In class, a lot of you might have used the words first, next, then, and last. But remember, those aren't the only words we can use. There's a whole list of other words we can use right here. So feel free to use those as well. Let me give you an example of how to sequence by baking cookies. First, I will look at the recipe for baking cookies. Next, I will gather the ingredients. Then I will mix the ingredients. And last, I will bake the cookies in the oven. Bake and eat them, of course. The next thing I want you to do is grab a sheet of paper. With a sheet of paper, I want you to make 4 squares. You're going to put a line in the middle and then a line across. You could also put those numbers too if that helps you. If you don't want to draw the lines, you could also fold your paper into 4 pieces. So I'm going to be using the story A Tree is a Plant, and there are so many parts of the story that we can sequence, but I'm going to start with when first the seed gets pushed in the ground. Because remember, before that, wind blows and then the seed eventually gets pushed in the ground. So we're starting with here. Now, we need to think what happens after that. What happens next? So I'm going to turn my page and I want you to think, what could you write in the next square? Using this any sequence word you want, I chose the word next. And I want you to either draw it or write a sentence on what happens after the seed gets pushed into the ground. Pause the video, and I want you to talk about it with your mom, dad, sister, brother, whoever you're with, and I want you to draw it and then write it down. Now, this is what I came up with. I wrote, next, a stem and leaves grow. Did you write that down or draw it? Great. Let's continue. Pause the video again, or you can look at the book from before, and I want you to think, what happens next? Use the text to help you. So let's go back to the story, and I want you to think, what happens after the stem and the leaves grow? You can use the pictures or you can read it too. What happens after that? So I already used first, and I already used the word then, so I could use the word next, or I could use the word also. I wrote, then blossoms grow on the tree. Did you write that too, or come up with something different? Great! And then in our last square, what I want you to do is I want you to think, what happens last? So let's look back. Pause as you need to. And I want you to think, what happens next or last? happens last? And I want you to write it or draw it to help you. And I wrote, last, the blossoms fall off and apples grow. Did you get that right? Awesome. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to draw another 4-square, and I want you to create another sequence activity or event using pictures and sentences. You can sequence how your day went. When you wake up, first I brushed my teeth, then I got dressed, then I ate breakfast, last I went outside to play. You can sequence making dinner with your mom. You can sequence playing a game. Be very creative. And then when you're done, send us a picture of your sequence activity. Here are some other activities. You can sequence another part of the story, A Tree is a Plant. You can write about your favorite part using the sentence frame, my favorite part is. You can write about what the story reminded you of using the sentence frame, this story reminded me of. You can write down the words that have the sound ooh and ooh and ooh from the text with the spelling. Science integration. You can discuss the 4 seasons. What happens in each season? What do we wear during each season? What do we do in each season? What is the weather like in each season? What happens to the plants and animals during each season? You can also find out more about trees. Google trees. Watch a video on YouTube. And find out one interesting fact about it, then draw a picture of it. Show us what you have found and came up with. Don't forget, boys and girls, take a picture and send us what you came up with and what you did. Have a great day.